All right, so the best part is here. We are going to decide whether these elements are metals, non-metals, or metalloids. And the way we're going to do that is with the notes that we took earlier this week. It has all the characteristics of metals, non-metals, and metalloids. And we should be able to look at the things that we've tested here and get a really good idea of what they might be. So if you need to find your notes, go ahead and push pause on this video and find them. And then we're going to figure out which one they are. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at is aluminum. So let's see, is aluminum malleable or brittle? It was malleable. It was a good conductor of electricity. It's not attracted to a magnet, but it did look metallic and shiny. So if we look at our properties of metals, we've got shiny, solid, malleable, good conductor, ductile. I mean, we hit the majority of these. The only one that isn't really conclusive is the magnetic part, and that's just one of the characteristics that could be a metal. So I think this is pretty overwhelmingly positive that we have a metal here. So aluminum is a metal. Now let's look at carbon. So here's our carbon. Okay, carbon was brittle. It was not malleable at all. It's an insulator. It's not magnetic at all. It's non-metallic and really dull. So all of these characteristics would lead me to think that we have a non-metal. So it's brittle solid, it's not malleable or ductile, it wasn't a good conductor, it was a really good insulator. So I think we can be positive that carbon is a non-metal. Okay, let's look at copper. So copper was malleable. We bent it really easy. Copper was a really good conductor of electricity. It's not attracted to a magnet, which is okay. It's metallic and shiny. So this one has all the same characteristics as aluminum. And aluminum's a metal, so copper must be a metal too, right? Okay. Next, let's look at the iron. So iron was malleable, and I maybe couldn't bend it in right now because my fingers aren't strong enough, but I have bent nails before when I'm nailing things together with a hammer, and it bent perfectly fine. It didn't break off at all. So iron is malleable. It was a really good conductor of electricity. It was magnetic, and it's metallic and shiny. So it has all of the characteristics, every one of them, of a metal. So we're going to say this one's definitely a metal. Okay, here we have our stinky yellow sulfur. Well, let's look at that one. So that was not malleable at all. It broke right off in my hand. So that one's a brittle solid, like our nonmetals. It's an insulator, like our nonmetals. It's not attracted to a magnet, and it's non-metallic and pretty dull. So, I mean, this one is pretty well guaranteed to be a nonmetal. Okay, so I'm gonna put nonmetal there by the sulfur. Okay, so the silicon, our squishy silicon here, it's very malleable, but it didn't conduct electricity. It's not attracted to a magnet, and it's not metallic, but it is pretty shiny. So what could this one be, this silicon? So the different things that happened here would lead me to think that silicon is a metalloid because it has some characteristics of metal being malleable, but it also has some characteristics of being a non-metal because it's an insulator. So I'm going to put metalloid over here. So there's a couple more questions for you underneath this video. Go ahead and answer those questions, and when you're all done, don't forget to push submit. Good job today.